Alright, welcome back everyone to A Programmer Plays Scurge Hive. In our previous episode, we managed to get through this kind of cluster of rooms, this little maze of tunnels and what have you. So what we need to do now, go to here so that we can pop out here. And then go through, I believe this one? No, this one. We can follow it over to here. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's get right to it. It has been, this is the right one, yeah. It has been a few days since I last played, so there might be a little bit of rustiness as I first get back into it, so please forgive any questionable gameplay for the next few minutes. I'm sure we'll get our feet back under us pretty quickly. This game's not asking you to like memorize a bunch of inputs or anything. Alright, so middle bit. Just right there. Starting out already with the inputs not quite doing what I want them to do, but that's okay. Cool, so we're here now. Burn. Pretty sure that, yeah, the sounds that I'm hearing are just the mechanical enemies here, not anything additional I need to worry about. So, we need to get down to these bits. Presumably, that means going through some more tunnels somewhere, or going through these doors. Actually, going through those doors feels like the most logical answer, so. Might head south to start with, just to get our infection reset. We did take some damage there, that's fine. Alright, so I'm reasonably confident that I am hearing the sound of a switch or a key card somewhere in this room. Pretty much has to be up here, right? Yeah, it's not, we can see it. Alright, so how do I get back up there? Do I have to go through the tunnel? Yeah, I think I do. is unfortunate, considering we just cleared out that room, but that's okay. Really wish these guys would catch fire. No! You know what? I'm gonna rewind to that. It's just gonna be tedious to run through that tunnel again. I shouldn't have gone for it, but I was being impatient. Hey, level up. Nice. Health's not coming over. Unfortunate for me. There we go. Alright, excellent. Oh, we're finally done with that. We can move on. I want to touch this in order to save, and then I believe we can go in here. What does that put our level at, I wonder? Level 57. Wow. Looking at this UI, I'm kind of wondering if we might hit 5 9s on XP, and then that be like the maximum XP. I don't really think so, but it seems stranger. A fair bit of damage for being impatient. Alright, so, and it's not even where I need to go. I didn't need to come up here. No! You've gotta connect to the one that I'm in. Honestly, with the amount of damage we've taken, I kinda need to go back and save again. Several things. We got that key card. accepting mistakes on my part. Okay, excellent. Straight up just didn't make that jump. Thought we had tons of room for it. Alright, so where's the switch for this is the next question. Unless we actually need to go through a different door in order to get this open. Possible, so we'll give that a shot. Also, oh shit. Perilously infected here, so. Okay, yes, that's that door. Oh, we need to move around. Is there a save? Yes, we headed south. It was saved. This feels nice. Nice. I'll take it. So let's move around. Grab this. If I reach that, that's okay. That'll be enough to jump up. Excellent. There we go. 5. And that's it for this room, presumably. Alright, so where are you gonna take me? full spread. Thinking being this will be adjacent to that. Oh, nice. Save the fact that we picked up a couple cards. And does this connect to anything? No, it's just a leaf. To explain what I just said, actually. You can think of Metroidvanias using graph theory, where the various rooms, if they connect to other rooms, then they're branches. But if they only connect to one other room, then a room on the map becomes a leaf, like a a tree with branches and leaves and all that stuff. I don't think I'm doing a particularly good job of explaining that, but whatever, it's fine. You get the idea. It's like a shrug. Presumably, we follow out the other exit of this place. Get a different. Hey, another level. Nice. Different room? Interesting. So maybe this room connects via different things, much the way that the previous set of rooms had a lot going on. So there's definitely at least this, that to go care of. Jump over. Oh. Barely made it thanks to the double jump. Alright, so what are we actually looking at here? So this one would get us to that one. So let's, yeah, we'll run this one to start with. Get that. Excellent. Don't think we need to do anything else there, so... Something that it looks like they didn't do, and I'm glad that they didn't, because it's a pattern that I actually personally dislike. The enemies, sometimes when people are making games like this and you've got rooms, they'll have different spawn patterns for which direction you enter the room from, and there's good reasons for that. Like, making it so that, enemies aren't immediately ambushing the player because they're now standing like right in front of what had previously been the exit. This game, they don't seem to have done that. Instead, they just have enemies, be where they are. Just keeping enemies kind of away from the doors in general, which I think is just a good pattern. I think it feels kind of weird when, like, it feels. It makes it feel more video gamey, right? When enemies spawn in different locations depending on where you are. At least when you're cognizant of it, that feels weird. I'm sure there's plenty of times the games have done that and I haven't noticed the sleight of hand of it. Over leveled by the time that we get to the final boss. Because of me taking the time to pick up the XP. Alright. Let's check our location, because we are... Okay, good. I think there's going to be a save just right here. Perfect. We're at 96%. That's a bit much. Alright, so, done, and then we just need to get into that one, which means that we need to get through this niner. Is there a key card in here? Nope. These guys hit hard. I forgot how hard they hit. Feels like the kind of thing where there's probably some speedrun technique for it, but you guys all stay back there because we need to hide this before it becomes a problem. My ice things must have shifted off, but we only needed, the tiniest little bit. Alright, there we go. shoved through the door. It feels so rude. No way. Alright, that feels especially weird. There we go. Here we go. All 6. Get me the flip out of here. Man, it would have been nice to have found at some point a way to fast travel between save stations. I get why it's not in here. It would very much change the game. But boy, it would be nice to be able to be like, hey, I just want to be here now. You know? But we did it. There we go. That is this area, as far as I know, pretty much done, other than the boss. So now we just gotta run our way back. What do we think? Will we level up from killing trash mobs on the way? I should probably just largely ignore enemies on the way back. It's gonna take time, but probably not worth. Like I should probably just run past all the enemies. That's what I'm saying, but. It's so hard to, you know, walk away from free XP. A lot easier to just run past things in the open. I say open world. In the above ground areas. It's when you're in the lower areas, you're just like, I do not have any room to dodge. Yeah. Alright. Out of curiosity, let's take a look before we dive into this. We are sitting at level 59 We are 1,000 and change XP away from, yeah, 1,500 XP away from level 60, so not worth the grinding, I don't think. Here we go. See how this goes. Plant cost naturally. Captured specimen Beta 213 Mandragora. Source. I know you can hear me. Is this all you can throw at me? I'm not gonna let you stall this any further. We're talking to the source now? Okay. Working particularly well. Orders aren't. No, girl. I need you to. Looks like I can just barely even see the attacks that are leveled. Okay. Okay. Not doing us any favors in this fight. No, face the correct direction. I swear to God. We're pretty much definitely not winning this initial one, but yeah. Woof. Halfway. And a lot of that damage was in the first, first few seconds of the game. I'm not totally convinced that fire was even the correct answer there in terms of like what to be shooting it with. Nope. Gotta run the right direction, girl. Okay, I thought it would stop going. Hold on, we're actually going to rewind to that because that was such a silly thing to do. directions I'm pointing. I'm really, like, quite out of patience with the whole, she just sometimes doesn't do what you tell her. Just runs off in different directions. Right there. Alright, first phase down. Okay. Don't love the way that fight works out, where it feels like half the difficulty there is purely because you just don't know where he is because the screen's too small. Like we're gonna die at exactly the same place as before. That's heartbreaking. Fast forward through this. Test the others to see. I'm assuming that it'll end poorly. No. This run is already off to kind of a bad start. That one actually. Hold on, the mechanical there seemed like it was doing work. That would make sense since that's kind of a mechanical belt thingy. That's doing nothing. That's doing nothing. Still nothing. Okay. Never mind. I think that if the explosions go off while it's in tutorial, it doesn't count for me. Frustrating. Alright. There you are. Doing a bad job on this phase. Nope, you gotta face the direction I'm pointing you at, girl. death scene's a long one. Alright. So, alright. We've learned use electric on the opening bit. Don't let that hit you. Okay, well, that was bad. Already used up about 1/9 of our health. I do rather wish that the audio there would be a little clearer. You know, like have a little bit more tone shift as you get closer. Oh, come on. Direction I need to face. I feel like she's being even less reliable about it now, which is, oof, if that's the case, that's unfortunate. Maybe something I can do about these. Ah, hold on. Is this an energy? Why isn't he doing that? Alright. Getting an attack up. Oh, what got the attack up just then? Hello, boss, where are you? That's kind of lame that you're just peacing out. Yes, there we go, Mandragora. That was interesting the way that the types worked out. What was that? Orc cry? There's no time to waste. We've got to get back to the biocore and stop the source. I hope I'm not too late. Yeah, I kind of assumed like forest area, fire would be the obvious answer, but using electric to get through the belt, that sort of makes sense. And then using energy to get through the core, I'm a little surprised by, because it didn't read to me as being energy based. I guess because it was teleporting in and out. So there we go. Excerpt 6 unlocked. Biocore complex. Final excerpt. Alright, that I appreciate actually that it tells us that. Is this area changed at all? I don't think so, right? I think we're back to business as usual. Hold. Ooh, I also did want to check. Did that boss level us up? It did. It gave us almost exactly what we needed, I think. And then our next level is a cool 1100 experience after this. So, okay. Interesting. Alright. We're still missing one, which ostensibly is in the room we... No, okay. Right. Okay, so, gosh, that one's been... That's actually really funny. That it's one that we've attempted multiple times and not succeeded. That's surprising. Have we had a single room in this game that is like a kill all the enemies situation? Whoa, cool. Water tank. Like, have we had load-bearing enemies so far in this game where you have to kill all the enemies in order to do a thing? Water level in the biocore specimen tank has been lowered. Right, presumably that's the spot directly below us. I appreciate. All right, let's highlight this. I appreciate that there wasn't a we need to lower the water level dialogue. Like, they just let me figure that out and, like, you know, just trusted the player for 2 seconds. I feel like a lot of games don't give the player that sort of trust for 2 seconds, and that's a shame. People are smart, and, like, that's not even being smart. There is, like, overselling it. Like, that's just basic video games right there. Just, okay, let me remove the obstacle from my path. Okay, let me out. don't know how I did the math earlier, but I did it super wrong. We need 3,000 XP. I did it so wrong. Oh, there's another one that I missed, which is there. So how did I miss that one? Like, that was in the room that I arrived at, right? Okay. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Alright, we gotta do something about these drones. Feels like an Easter egg of some kind. I don't know what it would be. It's so interesting to me the way that the tether, you know, it gets its own dedicated button, but it really hasn't been like a core gameplay feature. Like, we haven't been using the lasso to connect, you know, electrical currents or like tripping enemies that are driving by or anything, you know? Like, the lasso could have had, the tether, I'm sorry, could have had a lot more mechanics associated with it, and it doesn't, and that's fine. I'm not saying that they had to or anything, but it's surprising considering you've got so few buttons to work with. This one got a dedicated button, and, you know, don't use it that often. Oh, were we just straight on the boss? Infected Yggdrasil Sentry, Cerberus. Alright, Sentry doesn't sound like, okay. Okay. Doing poorly. Frustrating that I completely lost what I was thinking. Right. Yggdrasil Teleport Bay online. Staying by for transfer. Genosa. Thank you. Sick piece of filth. Get a kick out of parading people's heads like trophies. And leave now. Wait. Sorry to burst your bubble. There's only one way out of here, and I've already booked the seat. As for you, I have to make sure you don't go anywhere. Unacceptable. We must leave. Oh, cool. It's us. The goopy. Hey. We no longer require you. You are now dangerous, unusable, must eliminate. I'm not going to let your crude replica roam freely across the universe, masquerading as me. Both you and that fake are staying put. Obstacles must perish. Do I get a heal? Nope. Alright. Well, that's not good for me. Okay. Sure would have loved those enemies were dropping heals. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, that did not work out the way I was hoping. Damn. We did very little progress on that boss. I mean, I guess this is just going to be a long episode. Because, yeah, like... Let's see. Do we still have to defeat? Yeah. There was no way that we weren't gonna have to defeat the Yggdrasil Sentry. That kind of sucks. Kind of hate that. So, okay, what I didn't get in the previous one was that they're tossing trash mobs at us because the point of this fight is to show that you understand, like, hey, I need to do the thing against the boss that is separate from the thing against the mobs. Much better health this time. Coming into this fight. I do kind of wish I could just like press start to skip over this. Red. I haven't figured out what the tell is yet for where that attack's gonna be. Slash, if there is a tell. No. I swear that aiming not doing what I want it to is going to give me heart problems. Run the bus. Ooh, wonder actually. Alright. Oh, alright. Alright, well, I will see you guys when I'm next in here. And we're back. We're doing a little worse for health because I was just rushing previously, but we're back in it now. So what I want to know, can I? No. All right. I thought maybe. Thought maybe I would be able to like drag her out of there. I've gotta be playing less aggressive here. just, hey, you have to just sit here and wail on her. Woo, woo. Well, shit. And here we are again. Let's start. Boy, I get the feeling this run's going to be a short one. I just want to, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, is there a cadence that I can leverage for jumping over the energy balls. Doesn't, like, quite cleanly divide. Alright, here we are again. 820 health this time, so that's something. I do feel like I'm still missing some critical and probably obvious mechanics, but like there's so much going on that it is difficult to take a second and just like observe. Got off the rhythm. Alright. No, come on. Making the decision to use save states. We've made it back here again. I'm I'm back at 820 again, so you know what? Screw it. I think this is just a case of a get good final boss, and frankly, having to fight another boss before it in order to learn how to get good just doesn't feel like a good use of my time. So, here we are. I don't see the, like, why do sometimes the enemies have, why do sometimes enemies come out of the sacks and other times they don't, like, to use save states, load state, here we go. Apparently several that I've made by accident. Somewhat convinced that there's some sort of tell that I'm overlooking, and I'm just not seeing it. Like, is it? Do we think it's the counter to whatever we just used? I don't think so. It does not seem like also the problem of we're not doing great on time. Like, our health's not doing great, but also our time's not doing great here. We're at 63% infection. 64% infection. I'll be honest, I'm really not enjoying this final fight. I probably should have cut the recording as soon as when we hit the 1 hour mark. But I didn't. That's on me. I think I would be having a pretty different time if these enemies were dropping health. Like, obviously, it would make the fight tremendously easier. But it just sort of feels, you know, it feels like the enemies should be dropping health. It's the final boss, like... I mean, the normal gun seems as effective as any of the other weapons. And it just feels like the game's decided to just give me a bullet sponge and deal with it. We're not using any of our abilities. We're not using the type system. The previous boss was a lot more boss fighting than this one. This one's just a bullet sponge. The previous one, at least, like, it was asking you, like, hey, did you understand the type system? I guess that's the takeaway here, is that we've already quizzed you on the type system, so now prove that you've got the reflexes? I don't know. I'm really, like, the game is losing me hard here in this fight. So, having now, like, as you guys seen, fought the boss a few times and had a bad time, I'm considering just like, all right, let's just breeze through this. What's really interesting is there's a heal button sheet. I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm super curious how that's gonna play out. Interestingly, the heal button sheet binds to the same button that I've been using this entire time for firing. So I actually am having to use a different button for this. You know what? Actually, no, screw it. We've essentially just turned on healing, infinite health mode for ourselves. That's a really interesting that they, like, sort of chose to put that in, because that's like a non-trivial sheet. I'm wondering if that existed in, like, the debug menus, and they just sort of, like, ran with it. well, with all this health on hand now, it does give me a little more breathing room to look for tells about, like, is there a type disadvantage I can leverage? Alright, she's wrapped in red. Does that mean it? I think it does. Oh, yeah. That's good. Right. The game has lost me so thoroughly on this bullet sponge final boss that I'm just gonna roll with, hey, we're out healing everything. I would maybe be feeling more charitably if there wasn't, if the game hadn't worn me down on replaying the previous boss, because once I had accepted, like, okay, I'm gonna do save states just to quit wasting my own time, that then quickly turns into, well, if we're not gonna play the game as originally intended or whatever, then why not turn on full-on cheating? I don't know. I want to finish the game, and like this is sort of not the best I can do, not the best compromise, but like I don't want to just quit the game because I'm annoyed by it, right? But also at the same time, like there's this sense of like at some point you're just wasting my time. And this is a game from the mid-2000s. There was a lot of just time wasting in that era. You know, games would pad their length. And that still happens. Like I say in that era, but like this is still very much a thing. Just the way that we do it now is different. Instead of having a particularly painful boss that you get stuck on for hours and hours, you know, instead now we give you Assassin's Creed checklists and stuff, right? Like, hey, here's a bunch of busy work to keep you occupied. Which honestly, I hate to say it, but I think that's actually better. It's easier for people to choose not to engage with that. Hey, no. You open back up. I guess it's a good thing that we've got this infinite healing now that we're sitting at 100% infection. She really is just a bullet sponge. Like, we're playing unreasonably aggressive because of the infinite healing thing, and we're still taking forever. There we go. Alright, we did it. Not so intimidating now, are we? Oh, jeez. Form, matter, flesh must be restored. There's another boss phase after this. Level up. Get out of my head. See, that's a fun twist. I enjoy that. There is? You're shitting me. Just straight up a bullet hell? Are you kidding? weapons, it doesn't look like. I don't know how this works. Genuinely don't know what the game is doing here. You have to have enough health to survive these drains? Because this is an immense amount of draining that's being done to me. Like, I definitely couldn't survive multiple of those. Well, I have completely, by turning on healing, I have completely undone the end of this game. But also, like, I don't think I've got the skill to do this if I had been tasked with this. Like, I can't move right there. What? I'm gonna have to look that up on my own time to find out, like, what the actual intended mechanics there for that were. Oh, head hurts. Warning, structural integrity compromised. You must evacuate immediately. Magellan, initiate Yggdrasil escape pod boarding sequence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Receiving transmission, decoding protocol. Attention, Commander Kozon, Federation Research Facility 56, planet Enos. Debriefing. A probe has picked up energy fluctuations from the surface of Enos corresponding with the coordinates of Confederate Research Facility 56. The energy signature has been confirmed to be that of the Yggdrasil project. As per your orders, Confederate frigate Vigilant has been dispatched to the coordinates. Intelligence HQ has lost sight of it. Hunter Genoza Arma ever since the unit's arrival to Enos. Search party will be established. End transmission. I didn't get quite all the words, but I think I got the gist. That are total kills? Still don't know how the ranking system works. The end unlocked. Thank you for playing. Developed and produced by Eclipse Unit, Orbital Media Incorporated. So, man, once again, a game just completely loses me with the final boss. This has happened multiple times over the course of this channel, and over the course of my life, right? Like, it's not that unusual for, I mean, alright, let me back up. When a game developer gets to their final boss, there's a few decisions that they have to make. One, is it actually the final boss or not? Like, are you going to have, like, true final boss? Are you going to have, like, bonus secret bosses, etc.? There's a bunch of different ways you can do that. But assuming you've got, like, a narrative arc and you've got a final boss at the end of it, there's kind of two ways that you can choose to go, right? Like, you can have the final boss be the final challenge, where you're saying, like, alright, player, you've been building, presumably, skill at this game, levels at this game, show me your stuff. This is your final test, right? And we see this in loads of games where the final boss is the toughest game. But, the other way to go is the narrative final boss, where the final boss is like alright, you've done the thing, and so now you get to have this narrative payoff moment of, we've put in the time, and now you get to feel cool. Because it doesn't feel cool to just get your ass handed to you at the end of the game, right? To be continued. I don't think that's true. Like, when you get to the final boss and you're just like, all right, well, my training has not paid off. I cannot pass this final test. That feels really bad, right? And so, yeah, like, you kind of get this choice of, do you want this to be a mechanically focused game, or do you want this to be a narrative focused game? And, like, we see the same thing with a lot of other stuff, right? Where, like, you get this point of no return in most games, where, like, hey, we need to escalate things. There needs to be, like, you know, stakes and what have you. And meanwhile, the game designers, the mechanical side of things, are like, brother, as soon as we put this in here, players, like a lot of players, how many players have gotten to the end of the game and just don't actually go fight the final boss because they don't want the game to be over, but also, like, you know, they don't want to, like, commit to some of the, you know, point of no return stuff. I didn't beat I Am Cessna until years after I first played it, because I got to the final boss and I was like, I'm good. So yeah, like, this game clearly said, let's do a mechanical thing for the final boss. Like, we've got the Yggdrasil Sentry bit, which is standing there going like, alright, do you understand the types? And I was pretty on board with that. That fight was fine. But then without any kind of healing, resetting, saving, nothing, you go straight into the next fight, which, as far as I could tell, was just a bullet sponge. It was just like, alright, you need to get these two things out so that the boss will be vulnerable, and fill it full of bullets. The types, as far as I could tell, didn't matter. And the boss was shooting, you know, when the middle bit was actually exposed, it was shooting little orbs, which you could jump over if you could time the jumps correctly. But if you got off, then you took a little damage, and you lost a little bit of your window to do damage there. And the boss just took so many shots. I don't know how many shots it took, but, like, obviously we completely maxed out our infection meter standing there just... And that's with me having heals on and, like, not taking the time to dodge things and move around. Obviously there is, like, an alternative to jumping over the little lasers would be to run over and shoot. Run over and shoot. I think that would take more time, and also, like, it's a Game Boy Advance game. Like, your movement is pretty janky, and it would be pretty easy to be slightly misaligned and just miss all your shots and waste all your time. So jumping over seemed like the better move, but it's still just like, it was just taking forever. And it would have made sense. Like, I've been kind of harping this whole game, not this whole game, but a lot of this game, I've been kind of harping on, like, we have this tether. We didn't use the tether. We didn't use the tether in the final excerpt at all, I don't think. I guess we did pull a couple of things in. So I'm wrong. We used the tether to unlock 2 of the 6 thingies to get into that final boss area. But the tether was not used after we got to the point of no return. Maybe it could have been on that 3rd section. I don't know what the hell was happening in that 3rd section. I'm a little tempted. Let's do this, actually. I'm gonna look up real quick what someone else playing through this and getting to the 3rd section. Alright, here we go. We are watching a video from Long Play Archive. Thank you, Long Play Archive. So they've got less health than even I had. 790. Do they have any? No, they're taking damage here. Oh, there is that level up that they just got, so that would have fully healed them. Even in the void, I find the camera thing to be disorienting. Alright, so shooting it in the eye, losing a bunch of health, getting real low. Alright, they're at 1 health. You just have to do the final boss at 1 health? Alright, so that's so this sort of goes into what I'm talking about with the narrative thing, where this phase, the third phase of the boss, becomes the one where the game developers sort of take the mechanical stuff out and say like, alright, you can't go below 1 health. Here's a narrative thing, but like, God, it doesn't feel good. You want the final boss to feel like you're mechanically doing the thing, right? You don't want it to feel like a gimme. But at the same time, like, you don't want to feel like you've turned on cheats, like I did. But at the same time, you don't want the game to like, grind you down and waste your time. I probably should have cut this episode into 2, right? Like, switched it because I didn't want to listen to that wop 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 of the low health anymore. I probably should have cut this episode into 2, but I sort of committed to the one big episode, and now it's almost double length, which sucks. Man, it just sucks. It sucks so much that the final boss is like that. I really don't think that it should have. It would have been okay for the final boss to have those 3 phases. You know, the first boss, second boss, and third boss, if there was saves in between there. Like, if you could do the first one and then go and heal up and come back. But because you had to do them back to back to back, that sucks. Because then that means, right, on that third one, they clearly had made the decision like, all right, well, we just won't let the player die here. We're going to make a concession to the narrative bit of it, and also the mechanical frustration of players being like, hey, I've already defeated 2 bosses. What do you mean you're going to throw a boss at me that drains my health? But also, like, the whole health training thing, like, that kind of doesn't make sense, right? Like, you can only have so much health in this game, as far as I can tell. I'm pretty sure there's a max level, given that there is a cheat for maximum level. I don't know what it is, but it's infinite cards. Really, that feels weird. Just disable the exploration part of the game. Anyways, yeah, there's parts about this game I like. I like the damage system. I think that damage system is solid. That interplay of doing things. Some of the other abilities are fine. You know, speed up is cool. Double jump, a classic. Blowing things up, cool. The tether was cool. Freezing things was fine. I think the freezing things I'm a little worried about with publishing these videos, because I'm a little worried that the freezing effect is so like full screen-y that it's gonna be, you know, like a visual trigger for people. So I'm nervous about that. Hopefully not. If that has been like causing you seizures, I am so sorry. Yeah, I don't know. The game really shows its age. The camera whipping around whenever you faced a different direction was really like kind of nauseating to me. And of course, I've been harping on this whole game. The fact that like sometimes you'd be running in a direction and you'd go to run in a different direction, and the game would just be like, no, you're not, and would just keep you going the way that you were. Like, it would miss the input of you changing directions, was devastating. That ruined the game for me, because it meant that it didn't feel like I was in control. That plus the camera really made me feel like I was constantly like fighting to get her to go where I wanted and look at what I wanted her to look at. A lot of those boss fights, like the Mandragora fight that we did earlier in the episode, we could barely see the tell that the thorns were going to come out of the ground because we were always looking up, right? We were looking north. And so our character was, her feet were at the bottom of the screen. And so stuff happening under our feet, the way that we knew that the thorns were coming were the particles and not the effect that was happening on the ground. So I really wish that this version of the game, pulled the camera back a little bit, let us adjust the distance at which the camera offset is from her position so that we could, honestly, for me, I would shrink it down to 0. But if you could, like, take it to half as far as it would be a lot less nauseating. Um, Let us, back up and save uh, between boss fights, or also not an or, but an also, let us skip cutscenes. Like, when characters are talking, let us press the start button to go to the end of that, because that also like sort of started to become punishing. Now we could fast forward through it by just holding the R button, so it wasn't that bad. And as we ultimately ended up doing, we could save state to get to the point past it. But that then sort of opened the floodgates of, well, if I'm cheating past the first boss anyways with this save state, why not just turn on the heal button? So, yeah. I really feel like this game, like, it was solid. It was solid. It was flawed. It was rough, but it was better than a lot of indie games. Um, I've played a lot of really bad Metroidvanias, I'm not gonna lie. But this one, like, it was solid until it wasn't. And then it really shit the bed really hard there at the end. But yeah, that's a programmer plays Scurge. Hopefully you guys have liked this series. It's a little different from our usual stuff, being a retro game that's been ported. That's a slightly different for us. But next game will probably be a more modern game. Hopefully one that doesn't drive me up the wall so much with input stuff. Um, if you guys like this, obviously like and subscribe, comment, whatever, on the YouTube stuff. We do also stream twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday. Whatever I'm currently recording, I'll do those recordings live, and then edit out where I'm talking to Twitch and stuff like that. Um, so not all of my recording sessions, this recording session, for example, is not happening in front of Twitch because I don't like to film finales in front of Twitch. But if you want to pop in and say hello, you're most welcome to. We love it when people come in and are excited about the games that we're playing. There's a lot to be excited about and a lot to discuss. Obviously, like, I'm throwing out a lot of opinions in this finale episode. I welcome you guys, like, giving me your own opinions, sort of responding to my takes. If you think I'm wrong, tell me. Respectfully, please tell me. But yeah, Scurge Hive. It was good until it wasn't. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next series. Bye.